Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 65 of the 72 review. There's only two of us today because obviously it is Mother's Day, and Lee and Jake are both at the mother-in-laws, so they are being good in-laws, son-in-laws, and doing their business on Mother's Day. I've done all my stuff earlier on, so unfortunately for you guys, it's just me and Ian tonight, but I'm sure we'll manage, won't we?
Oh, of course we will. Yeah. Unfortunately, my mum passed quite a few years ago, so I haven't got that to worry about.
Just had to sort your old dear out at home.
Boy, you try.
But for anybody who doesn't know Ian, just introduce yourself. Let them know what you do and why you do it, mate.
Hello, I'm Ian. I'm soon to turn 62, and I'm a Rotherham season ticket holder for my sins. And when the Millers are away, I go around the country vlogging for Over the Bar YouTube channel. I did one from Dance Club Doncaster yesterday, and it's up on my YouTube channel today. And I'd like to say thank you to Lee, who surprised me this morning and took me to, I didn't know where I was going. He blindfolded me, and he took me to Millmore when there were a junior game going on, and within 5 minutes of me going into Millmore, it was like I'd never been away, and I'd not set foot in the place for 16 years. And since we went to Don Valley from Millmore in 2008, and it just brought back so many memories, happy and sad memories from my time supporting the Millers at Millmore. It was a fantastic surprise, and I can't thank Lee enough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that video.
Thank you, Dan, and all, for keeping the secret.
Yeah, you tried getting it out of me yesterday, didn't you? And I was stum, not telling you anything about it because I knew you'd enjoy it. And
well, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. As always, get your comments in throughout the stream. It does drive conversation as well. We've got quite a lot coming early on. We've got Lucy. Do you think Donny can survive? Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, I do. There's still work to do, but I think we can survive. And what position do you think Donny Rovers are going to finish? I'm not too sure. It depends on the next couple of games. We've got 4 winnable games and points on the board. I'd take mid-table for sure.
Mid-table would be good, yeah.
Yeah. Mark's in the chat. Donny's next 3 games are wins, and I think we'll finish 16th at least. And then he's asked, have I noticed a difference now that the team is stronger? Thoughts on the 33-year-old Grant brought in till the end of the season? So that's Maxime Biamou. I thought he was fantastic yesterday when he came on at half-time. We will go a bit more into that when we get on to Donny a little bit later on. Kieran's in, says good evening. Good evening, Kieran. Newport fan. What else have we got? Neil's in. There we go. Neil's asked Ian, why is Millmore still untouched? Do you know why?
Well, like I've said before, the guy that showed us around denied it, but there's still a sporting covenant on the site for, I think it's 125 years, and they're still in that. That's how I understand it. But the guy that was showing us around, he said it's because of the Booth family's benevolence, and I'm not buying into that. But it's great to see the old place utilised. I mean, if they're having junior football and they're trying to get a girls' team there for next season to utilise the facilities, they've brought new changing rooms in. They've spent a bit of money cleaning it up and getting all the undergrowth. There were a lot of shrubs and whatnot growing in between the seats. They've done a lot of work on that. The playing surface is pretty good, and I'd love to see it utilised. Even if they can get 1 or 2 of the local non-league sides to play on it, that'd be fantastic. But it's because of the sporting covenant, as I understand it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I've not seen any documentation, but that's how I understand it.
Yeah. There we go. Finley's in as well. Finley says hi. Good evening,
Hey,
Finley.
Hey, Finley, all right?
I've got a bone to pick with Finley actually. If he's still watching. Right. He has met every single member of the 72 review now, apart from myself and Jonathan, I think it is. So I want to know when he's coming to the Eco Power Stadium. Finley, let me know, and we will sort out a meetup, because you've met Ian, you've met Lee, you've met Jake, you've met Worko. I'm not happy.
No, he's feeling a bit left out, Finley. That's what
I am. I am indeed.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on with this then. If you are new to this and this is the first stream you've watched, we just talk about everything EFL across all three divisions, midweek and over the weekend as well. So we will start with League One. We'll get the banner up and we will share the screen. Just bear with me. There we go. As always, we point you in the direction of Ben Napper's Cods Vlogs on YouTube. Does a fantastic stream about League One, a League One deep dive. He knows, I don't think there's anybody who knows more about League One than Ben, to be fair. Fantastic content creator. So we'll point you in his direction. But we touch upon it, don't we, Ian? Because hopefully we'll be back there one day, and it's looking like Rotherham will be back there next season. So yeah, you'll be brushing up on your League One knowledge. So let's start.
There's no looking like we're going into League One. We are going into League One.
Yeah. Lee's on watching. Good evening, Lee. And they're definitely arranging it one day. I'm looking forward to meeting.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Oh no, John, you're not happy that I've glossed over your greetings. Sorry, I did put it up on the screen. I'm sure I did. Wished your robe was well on your video. Thankfully, he's not a sensitive lad. No.
Oh, you don't pay to be sensitive on
it. We mean no harm in anything that we do.
No, we don't. No.
Ian, you wanted to touch on Barnsley. Obviously,
yeah, it's not been a good few days for Barnsley. Conceding a very, very late equaliser to Bolton after being 2 up in midweek. I mean, standing alone, a 2-2 draw with Bolton isn't a bad result. But if you're 2-0 up, it tends to be a little bit of a disappointment.
Especially at home as well.
Exactly. I mean, Barnsley are a very, very good side, but so are Bolton. So, yeah, I think Barnsley will be a little bit peeved to concede a 90+8 equaliser against Bolton, and then it went even worse on Saturday.
It did. Sue is in the chat. I was hoping that she would be, because she said, "Evening, gents. Loving Hakeem playing so well. So am I. He's a fantastic player. I hope you allow him to leave in the summer and he's still surplus to requirements in Lincoln, because we would happily take him off your hands. A fantastic player. And what a game for us imps yesterday. So I think we'll move on to that one. Other midweek results: Peterborough thumped Northampton 5-1, and Charlton won a big game towards the bottom of the table.
Yeah, Charlton are getting their act together lately.
Yeah, they needed to as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Barnsley, after the 2-2 draw, dropping points from being in a commanding lead in that home game.
Where the hell did this result come from? I mean, I know Lincoln were on a 10-match unbeaten run, but going to Oakwell with Barnsley's home record and thumping them 5-1, I mean, that is not just a fluke. That must have been an annihilation. Fair play to Lincoln, because they're bang on form at the moment.
Yeah, I think Sue said last week 10 unbeaten. So
10 unbeaten.
11 unbeaten.
11 now. Yeah.
Emphatic victory.
Oh, exactly. It's a pity it didn't come earlier in the season. They might have been right up there. I think they might have left themselves too much to do to, well, are they now 9th? Yeah, in the 9th.
Yeah,
they're not too far away from 6th, but 6 points is a lot to make up in the last 9 games.
Yeah.
But what a run of form they're on. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's not out of the question that they could sneak into the playoffs, especially with the form they're in. And somebody's doing a fantastic job now over there. But it's always been unbelievable at Lincoln, because it's one of the clubs, the lower league clubs, where the fans really back the team at Lincoln. Sometimes the noise is absolutely staggering. Because I went earlier on this season when I think they drew with Reading, and I was impressed with the Lincoln support there. And yeah, they're doing a damn good job, and they're a very strong League One outfit.
Yeah. Sue says they've got injuries, no strikers. but they can do it. So confidence in breaking into the top 6 from Sue there.
Well, results like that breed confidence, don't
they? Yeah, exactly. ATID said that last season Lincoln were the best team. They played home and away as well. There we go. Another decent win for Charlton yesterday. Alfie May with a double. I don't know if you've seen the video of the tunnel jumps, Ian.
No, I've not.
No. So apparently after a win, Charlton sometimes run out of the tunnel, the players, and do a bit of a jumping celebration. And Alfie May's run out, and his standing foot when he's about to jump just goes underneath him, and he just bang straight on the floor. I'll send it through to the group. It's amusing, if nothing else, but he takes it well.
Well, he's certainly. I mean, he's a goal scorer. I mean, he proved that with Cheltenham. I mean, he scored in midweek, and he scored twice again yesterday. Unfortunately, Carlisle look like they're going to be League One's Rotherham, don't they?
Yes,
they look like the whipping boys.
Yeah.
And well, it's sad to see because they got promoted last season, and it looks like they're going straight back down again.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. Other teams have come up and kind of ridden that crest of a wave, haven't they? And Carlisle just don't seem to have adapted to League One football very well this season.
No.
You want to mention Port Vale as well, Ian, on this quick flick through League One?
Yeah. What can you say about Port Vale? I mean, they've got an ownership model that I admire. You know, like a family club sort of thing, and there's a good model there. But Darren Moore, he's got a hell of a job there on his 5.5-year contract. It looks like they're going down with a whimper. They look to be another club that look like the whipping boys, but it's a massive result for Shrewsbury. Completely massive result for them. Paul Hurst taking over there. I thought he'd turn them round, and I think he will do. I think they'll be clear. They're still not mathematically safe, but I think Hurst's got enough about him to steer Shrewsbury clear of danger.
Yeah. I don't know if Port Vale have appointed Darren Moore in kind of the view that they were going down, and they've given him
a bit like we did with Ricky,
so that they can rebuild in League Two and push on. And they've kind of already had that conversation behind closed doors that we accept relegation this season. We're not good enough. We've not got a good enough squad. I didn't think they were that good when we played them pre-season. In all honesty, I thought they'd struggle, and maybe they've just accepted that, which is not nice to hear if you're a Port Vale fan. But accepting relegation and then having that stability of Darren Moore being there next season and kind of saying, right, let's start planning, and you've got 4 years or 5 years after this season. This is where we want to be in that 5 years. You put the plan together and bring the squad together, and we'll back you. And we might see pressure get put on him if they're not performing well next season. Maybe they might want more back for the money.
I can see parallels between Darren Moore and Liam Richardson at Rotherham because they've inherited a losing squad with a losing mentality.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's unfair to criticise them at this point in time. If they're not doing well when they've got their own players in and they've got their own squad together, that's the time you should criticise them. But not when they've inherited a poor squad. Because, to be honest, I mean, like I say, I watch Rotherham every fortnight, and Harry Kane wouldn't score in the Rotherham team at the moment. Our strikers are getting absolutely no service at all.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same at Vale.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look at the table. Once again, go over to Cod's Vlogs later this evening. I think it's 8 o'clock tonight. Where he does a League One deep dive if you want to know, or a bit more detailed view of League One. Carlisle, we've said it, they're coming back down with a whimper, aren't they? 23 points, 16 points away from getting out of it. It's far too much, isn't it? I think you may as well put an R next to their name now. Port Vale, Fleetwood and Cheltenham make up the remaining bottom 4.
Burton's got a 5-point gap.
Yeah,
but 5 points can be easily clawed back.
Yeah, but if if you Fleetwood, Port Vale, or Cheltenham, you're probably looking at that point gap, thinking that's a huge gap to bridge. But Burton, Cambridge, and Reading are probably looking over the shoulders a little bit nervously, hoping that Fleetwood run a form without defeating 4, probably hoping that stops, because as you're getting points like that, you're just going to close that gap, aren't you?
Yeah.
Moving up towards the top of the table, we've talked about Lincoln, outside chance of getting into the playoffs, obviously, with the superb run of form. But you've got Blackpool and Oxford who will have aspirations of getting into the top 6. Stevenage, probably the overperformers this season, expected to kind of.
I expected Stevenage to drop off somewhat, but they haven't done. I mean, they have a poor run of form, 3 or 4 games, and then they come back, and that's just Steve Evans all over, isn't it? Really, never discount them.
Yeah.
Bosch has put a good run together, and they're not a million miles away from the automatics. And if they can keep the form going, they could challenge. Derby have started to pick it up again after a couple of defeats.
Yeah.
And Bolton keeps damaging draws. But I would say, I mean, 5 points isn't a lot, but I would say that the form Pompey are on, I think they'll win the title. But it's going to be a hell of a fight between 3 clubs, Derby, Bolton and Peterborough, for the last remaining automatic.
Yeah, I mean, Pompey, 4 defeats all season. That's incredible.
It is. It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
The 2 results for Barnsley have damaged and dinted their automatic hopes, haven't it? Hasn't it?
Yeah.
But
I'm going to say there's still a lot of football to be played. There's still 9-10 games to be played, and a lot can happen.
Indeed. HID is saying go to League 2 next. We don't need to worry about the Championship tonight. I think Ian will agree with you, to be fair.
I'll agree completely. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a 72 review, and we'll have to touch on the Championship.
You know, for when we talk about the Championship, can I just ask ATID what he thinks about Sky moving our game with Argyle to the Friday night? I bet he's absolutely chuffed.
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it, that they do move games like that, because it's a long way to go anywhere from Plymouth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Plymouth would have taken above 1,000 easily on a Saturday afternoon. So, but no, Sky come and said, no, we'll make it Friday night because we're all about the fans.
They're not. Adrian Barker, first time on here. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, we're trying to make it good.
Well done, Adrian. Welcome aboard.
We try his best. Lewis has said, shame we couldn't beat you Tuesday. Neil thought we were decent. You bounced back at Accrington, though. I think that's a good segue. Let's get into League 2. And we will start at Bradford, I think. Midweek, it was a 1-1 draw. And I agree with what Lewis has said, really. I thought we were decent overall. There's no 2 ways about it. It's a poor pitch, but it's a poor pitch for both teams. And I think we probably adapted to it fairly quickly. I didn't think we'd manage on there. I mean, you saw us yesterday, and we're trying to play football.
Yeah, absolutely.
The best we can, and sometimes with pitches like that, you have to really change the way that you play. And it was fairly even possession wise, passing wise, but I thought what we did with the ball, the amount of shots that we're creating, we deserve something from the game. But another ex-player came to haunt us in Tyler Smith.
Yeah, it's a pity you didn't get a win there, because Bradford keeper pulled a hell of a save off from, I think it was Maxwell, that long ranger. I think keeper tipped it over. Yeah, and that's when it was 1-0. If that had gone 2-0, it might have been game over.
Yeah.
But they're a decent side, Bradford, and it's a good point.
Yeah, and I think Neil's hit the nail on the head. That not having a competitive game for over 2 weeks impacted them. I do think you find that in international breaks and stuff like that. Sometimes some teams come back full of energy and vigour. Some teams come back a little bit sluggish, and maybe that was the case for Bradford on Tuesday night. Just needed to get back into the swing of things, and probably played in our favour, and we managed to get a draw. But I think we probably should have had a little bit more on the night. But it was a great finish by Smith for the equaliser. I don't like saying it because he's an ex-player, but there we go. But I'd have taken a draw before a ball was kicked for sure.
Yeah.
At Bradford, we never. I don't think we beat him in the last 5 or 6. So yeah, I'll take it. A cracking result midweek for MK Dons against Mansfield. Ian, you've seen Mansfield recently.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, this would probably one of the League 2 results of the season, because Mansfield, when I watched them against Salford a couple of weeks ago, they were frighteningly good. They were one of them teams where every time they came over the halfway line, it looked like they were going to score. But Dons came, they were competitive. I mean, look at that, 17 shots, 5 on target for an away team. That is pretty good. But Mansfield obviously did Mansfield things and peppered the goal, and they got a bit lucky with Stephen Quinn's opening goal, because it was a bit of a repetitive ricochet, but it eventually fell to him and he scored. But Gilby, straight down the centre of the pitch, good finish.
Yeah.
And Dennis sort of like scored a decent goal second half. But yeah, it's a blip. I think it's just a blip for Mansfield, that one.
Yeah, well,
because I mean, there's one thing that you'll get with Mansfield this season, and that's entertaining football. From you won't see a boring game involving Mansfield Town, because they're relentless attacking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You played like a non-league side. You get games like that. I mean, you can't win every game.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from a stats point of view. You've got, like you said, Ian, it looks like Mansfield have absolutely peppered MK Dons, but MTFC's come in the chat and not too happy with the performance. So maybe just reading stats doesn't show the full story, maybe.
And also, I mean, don't discount the run that MK are on. They're having a completely really good go at it, and the form indicates that they might even gate crash the automatics. Who knows?
Yeah. And MTFC has got praise for Gilby. Shouldn't be playing League 2 football.
Yeah.
You tried a few times, MTFC. You've got Gilbert there and then Gilbert again, and you finally get Gilby.
Yeah. Good goal. Very good goal.
Neil spotted that predictive text is not your friend tonight as well. But no, fantastic result for MK Dons, which is tightened the top end of the table for sure. Moving on to midweek, the weekend. Sorry, moving on from midweek, we'll start with Notts County because we had John Parnham in the chat. So what's happening to Notts County with quality players, but they can't stop losing. Compared to last year, we seem to be half the team we were.
I think round about October time, I think County were top of the league and a couple of points clear, and looked like they were getting successive promotions. And now I think they're in the bottom half of the table. Something's gone badly wrong. And I don't think it's just Luke Williams moving to Swansea, the manager. I was
just about to say, could it be that Williams has left and it's just he was holding it together and making County better than what they are, or getting the best out of the crop of players that they've got?
In my opinion, they've got 3 top players at Notts that have been exceptional, and that's Langstaff up front, and that's Crowley in midfield, and Jones. They've been exceptional for the majority of the season. It's like somebody's flicked a switch and turned them off.
Yeah,
they're getting turned over every week.
Well, MTSD said that they've got found out. So yeah. Is it that League 2 clubs are starting to do the homework a little bit more and obviously seeing more games?
It's looking that way. It's looking that way. But Wimbledon are a better outfit this season than they were last.
Yeah,
even without the striker that they sold to Ipswich, they're still very competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think was it last season? Did they finish below Rovers last season? Wimbledon.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're having a much better time at it this time round.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're having a much better time at it.
Lewis has said that County could just be low on confidence and poor defence, and that's from an outsider's point of view. Confidence is a big thing in football, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But a good result for Wimbledon puts them back in the playoff shout.
Yeah.
And also a very good result for Bradford.
Let's move on to that one next. So Neil will be happy with this one. Let's start with Accrington though, Ian. Bit of a chaotic couple of weeks for them, hasn't it? You've got Andy Holt is coming out and saying that the Championship's a zombie league and teams that are fighting to get in there, they're hitting a dead end because you're fighting against the parachute payments, and then
that's all fair comment. You don't mean to say you shouldn't have the aspiration to get there. I mean, the way that they fired John Coleman and his assistant, I don't know. It just smacked of disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, he just put something out on a tweet that said he thanked them for the long service. He actually added to that during the week, but it still leaves a nasty taste in the mouth, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, when you think of Accrington Stanley, apart from Milk advert, you think of John Coleman.
Yeah.
And Coleman's been there like forever in two. So he's made them they were a competitive League One outfit for a lot of years. Nobody enjoyed the trips to Aki because they know they were going to get in. They were going to be in a game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, of course they're safe. We know they're safe. They're not going to go down because they've got enough points. But really, I mean, even if we were thinking about sacking John Coleman, surely he should have done it at the end of the season and not now.
Just leave it till the summer, and then it looks more amicable, doesn't it? But ATID is not too happy with it. So Tyreek of shit right scoring a brace was the nail in the coffin for me this weekend. He's had a rough one. ATID has this weekend.
Andy Cook still scoring. He's a cheat code for League Two. Andy Cook.
He is indeed. Is that 16 or 17 goals this season?
Yeah.
Crazy. But Neil says it's a big week for Bradford. 3 home games: Forest Green, Mansfield, and Tranmere. Get 9 points from them, and it's game on, in his opinion, for the playoffs. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. I mean, I fancy him in 2 of them games. I think they might struggle against Mansfield, but who knows? Who knows? If it's at Valley Parade, they stand a very good chance.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So good result for Bradford, puts their playoff hopes back on, because I think the draw midweek against us didn't really help them out too much. But they bounced back very well on Saturday. Moving on to
Bradford fans are taking 4 points from two games this week. Yeah,
definitely. John's asked who's going up, who's down. Mansfield, Wrexham, MK Autos, Stockport playoff winner. Forest Green stay up, Sutton and Colchester down for him. So when we get onto the table, I think we'll stick his necks out this week, Ian, and we'll have a look, see who's going down and who's going up.
I don't agree with that, John. I'm sorry, I don't.
We will.
Are you going to take this because we were both there?
Yeah, well, I'll say my piece, mate, and then you can have yours as a neutral.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we were solid. I thought it was a really good performance. I went in. I've had a bit of a week. I had a conversation with you yesterday about it, Ian, and it's been tough all week, but we move on. And I just thought Donny would probably put the cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake, which has been a crap week for me. So I went into this with no expectations other than defeat with Crewe's league position, how they've done this season. And to be fair, even at 2-0 up, I was saying to you, Ian, we know what they're like. They've come back so many times this season. There was still something in me that thought something would go wrong. But in all honesty, I thought we controlled it. I thought it was a relatively even game, but I can't remember really being nervous that we were going to concede at any point in the game. I think Hakib's goal, I've looked back at it and I think he has meant it. I think he's tried to whip it into that far corner. There's question marks about ball positioning though. It does look like it's out of the quadrant, but I don't care. And then the second goal, Tommy Rose come on. We could have really been disrupted yesterday as 2 fullbacks went off within 10-15 minutes of each other, both through injuries. Players came on and slotted into those positions really well, and it was like everybody just knew the roles that they needed to do yesterday. And I think we're starting to see what Richard Wood can bring to a club and a back line, because he organises them. And I think since he's come back from injury, we've seen a very different Richard Wood to what we saw at the start of the season. He's really took control of that back line, and we look so much more assured. We look comfortable. We look okay with playing out from the back. I mean, I've been nervous a few times, but I think we just looked decent against a decent League Two team. And I'm hoping that this is kind of a preview to what we're going to see next season, and a really positive season for Donny. It's a big summer coming up, but I think if we can put Adel Aiken on a contract and bring some more quality in and get rid of some of the players that we're paying to basically treat their injuries so many seasons running, I think we could be in with a good shout of challenging top 7 next season.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. And I'd agree with the fact that I think it helps Richard Wood not having a kid at the side of him. He's got Tom Anderson at the side of him, another hugely experienced centre-back. And they seemed to know what they were doing. I mean, they were never in any... I mean, obviously a little bit of pace they're struggling, but Crew didn't seem to have the pace up front.
No.
I thought Rovers were solid. They were very competitive. I thought Crew were a little bit over physical at times.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. It was a comfortable win and a very good performance. And one thing I did, actually, Adrian, I think it were meant. I honestly do think it were meant. Yeah. And also the one of the things I picked up on going to Rovers from going earlier in the season is the positivity of the crowd base. It seems to be increasing all the time. And they were noisy yesterday, the Black Bank, and it was good to see. Good to see a bit of atmosphere there. Yeah.
I was trying to get you singing in, but you weren't having none of it.
Well, I'm not having it. No. I mean, I've nailed my colours to mast, and I can't really. No. I'm not used to what singing at a football match is like. Supporting Ireland.
Yeah. You could have sung Red Army. You'd have been fine with that, surely.
Well, I suppose I could have got away with that. Yeah. But having said that, Dan, you can't sing. It said so on your blog. You can't sing.
I'll always get a go though.
Yeah.
ATID, Tom Anderson dressed as Harry Potter. Done it for you, Dan. Yeah, do you know what? It sent me this week. World Book Day. Some of the players dressed as Harry Potter characters and read excerpts of Harry Potter books. I thought it's just something that connects the club to the fan base, which we've not been doing too often, or often enough in recent seasons. So I think that has helped improve that kind of feeling around the club that Ian just mentioned. So yeah, good performance, good result. 4 winnable games coming up, and who knows where it could take us. As I said a few weeks back, we're 13 points away from the drop, we're 12 points away from playoffs. Stranger things have happened.
Well, they have, yeah. You'll have to improve your goal difference, though, I think.
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, we have got John in the chat. Follows Wrexham from the States, so I think we've got to talk about Wrexham in this one. Another good win.
Some experience there amongst the goal scorers, isn't there? McLean, Fletcher.
Yeah, some money in there as well, for sure.
Yeah, some wages, I'm sure.
Yeah, but Morecambe had a good result last weekend against Crewe. Came back and beat them 3-2, and they're kind of, if I'm right in thinking, they're kind of in and around the mix for playoffs. And it's extremely tight at the top. So an important 3 points for Wrexham there, especially with MK's run at the minute. Wrexham have got a game in hand over MK, they've got a game in hand over Stockport. So, I mean, the title's not out of the question at the minute for Wrexham, is it?
It isn't. I want to say it only takes Mansfield to go on a losing run. And Wrexham's keep picking the points up. It's not out of the question, but I'm sure that they'll want to maintain top 3. Keep it going. And Hollywood FC, welcome to League One.
Yeah, that's it. And John's come in with a stat for us only 2 home wins for Morecambe since the end of October. So Yeah, if Morecambe are going to make the playoffs, hopefully they've got more away games than home games.
Yeah, they're very good away from home, Morecambe.
Yeah, and I'm hoping John's talking about Wrexham here. Harrogate will be tough Tuesday, second best away form in the league. Have they got Harrogate Tuesday? Yes, they have. Harrogate Tuesday.
Harrogate are nobody's pushovers. I mean, I know they lost 9-2 at Mansfield, but they've picked up some. They've had a pretty good season, really.
Yeah, very good season for Harrogate.
Yeah.
Any other League Two games that you want to touch on, mate, before we look at the table?
Yeah, just one that really surprised me was Forest Green beating Walsall. I mean, I know Forest Green need the wins, but Walsall had been on a right run of form, getting towards the playoffs, and it looks a bit like a smash and grab, doesn't it?
Yeah,
5
shots on target, 2-0 win,
and then 17. Yeah.
I mean, Walsall beat us 3-1 a couple of weekends back, and like you say, they were on a decent run, pushing for playoffs. I think they're about ninth, just outside of the playoffs, a point outside of the playoffs. So Forest Green to turn them over 2-0, it's a really good result for them, and it's tightened everything up at the bottom of the table as well. And Claxon
that's one thing
for Neil Osadavy with a goal.
That's one thing, though, with Rovers winning yesterday, it didn't really matter what Forest Green and Sutton did.
All we need to do is match their results.
It just maintains that gap.
Yeah, does indeed. We will talk about Mansfield as well. We've got MTFC in the chat. Disappointing midweek result, and they've done well to come back and win this one. So they were 1-0 up early on. Peg back and then instant reply on 51, peg back again. So a bit of a to and fro game, this one, which they finally came out on top of.
I've said that. You don't get boring games from Mansfield, do you?
No, definitely not.
But when you've got Keeler, Dunn and Swan and even Akins, I mean, all three must be in double figures for goals this season.
Yeah.
I would say. And
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And Swan, I mean, he's becoming a bit of a super sub for them because he's coming on to sub most games and scoring.
Yeah. JB, I think JB is a Mansfield fan. Let me know if I'm wrong with that, JB, in the chat. Should have been 4-0 in the first 20 minutes. I'm guessing he's on about Mansfield being 4-0 up there. Could be wrong with that though. But yeah, decent result. I mean, not bad for a neutral this game. 42 shots on goal, 18 on target, 5 goals. If you want to be entertained, go to Mansfield. Yeah. We will have a quick look at the table before moving on to the Championship. Unfortunately for ATID and Ian, but we've got to do it. Sutton and Forest Green currently second, 24th and 23rd. But they are putting them up a fight to get out. We've said a few times over the past couple of weeks and months that it was pretty much done and dusted. Those two were the two that were going down. They've given themselves too much to do. I think we're wrong. I think they're putting up a fight, aren't they?
I was going to say Forest Green's record over the last 5 games isn't too bad.
Oh,
it's Colchester that should be worried because they know only 3 draws in the last 5 games. And who have they got Tuesday? Rovers.
Yeah, that'll be 3 points to them now.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think Rovers have got enough about them.
Yeah.
To get at least a point.
So to answer John's question, are you putting your neck on the line for the 2 down?
I still think it'll be the bottom 2 as it stands now. Even though Forest Green have woken up a little bit, I still think them and Sutton. I think Sutton are down basically.
I'd agree with Sutton.
I don't think they've got much. Yeah, but I think Forest Green will join.
Yeah. See, I said at the start of the season, and my channel got some absolute battering for it. I had Colchester down in the bottom 2. Yeah. We did the 72 review preview and kind of table prediction, and we ended up bumping Colchester up a few.
Mind you, we did predict Crawley to go down as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We were miles off with that one. But I do worry about Colchester. They've not won a game in 6. Forest Green are starting to pick up, and even that odd win here and there at this stage of the season at the bottom is huge.
But you never know, because momentum's a good thing, a powerful thing in football.
Yeah.
And if Forest Green players believe, and Colchester are getting a little bit nervous, and Grimsby, because they're not out of it.
No.
Who knows? Who knows?
I'm going Colchester Sutton. That's my neck on the line. There we go.
That is, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Notts County, we mentioned it earlier, massive drop off for them. They're now in 15th.
15th, yeah.
Really struggling to kind of maintain what they started at the beginning of the season, and we'll see what happens to them next season. But up at the top, Mansfield, Stockport, Wrexham make up the top three. I think that will remain the top three. I don't think it'll be in that order though. Stockport have got a game in hand.
You have, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Stockport. I mean, Mansfield. Stockport. I mean, the one yesterday with a 90th minute goal, and that's the first win in the last 5. They've been stuttering badly, but they're still a very good side.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that last minute winner gives them that boost, a bit like the equaliser at Sutton did for Donny.
Yeah, exactly. It could well do.
Yeah.
And for the third automatic, it's Wrexham's to lose now.
Yeah.
But any drop off in form and MK are there. But I agree with you. The top 3 as they stand now will probably be the top 3. Probably, like you said, it might not be in that order, but I'm still tipping Mansfield to be champions.
There we go. And then MK Dons, Crewe, Barrow and Gillingham currently make up the playoffs in League 2, but it is a very, very congested
Look at the fight
picture.
for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 1 point between 7th and 10th.
Yeah, so I can't call playoffs. I think MK will win it, the playoffs, but I don't know who the other 3 teams will be in that mix. I think MK have got enough to maintain what they're doing at the minute and get a playoff place.
Because from Bradford upwards, they've all got a good chance. And look at the form Crawley are on.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? And Bradford.
It's not bad at all.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting for the remaining 9 or 10 games.
It might go to the final day.
Yeah.
Which will be really worth watching that.
Will indeed. Lovely stuff. Right, let's move on to the Championship. I don't think we'll be spending much time on here because the Championship fans that we've got in the chat and Ian, it's not been a positive weekend.
I'm glad you said the Championship fans and Ian because.
But let's start midweek, mate. Obviously, disappointing performance and result for Rotherham at Coventry. Try and dissect this a little bit. It's disappointing, isn't it?
It didn't start well, did it? I mean, our player of the season, Victor Johansson, dropped one straight on Ellis Sims's head in the 5th minute, and that was as good as it got. I mean, Cov absolutely battered us. I mean, I don't think Ellis Sims is a Championship style striker, quality striker, but he managed to get a hat-trick. His 3rd goal were a good hit, but we've got more holes in our defence than a colander. It's just horrible to watch. They don't pick the men up. They don't mark from set pieces. They let players get crosses in by not going anywhere near them. I mean, they may as well put red shirts on a load of dustbins for all movement again.
Yeah.
I truly believe that the actual playing squad that we've got at the moment at Rob are throwing the manager under the bus.
Yeah.
Because they know he's going to take the blame for it. And they're just going to carry on picking the salaries up until they're eventually released in the summer. Because it might sound a sweeping statement, but apart from Johansson in goal, who I think will sell in the summer for quite a good fee, well, I'm hoping so, because we need to rebuild a squad. We've got a few players that's out of contract. In fact, we've got about 15 players out of contract. I'll release the lot of them because any one of them that looked like they were that had got a possibility of a transfer fee. The stock's gone down so much. They just don't care anymore. Just release the lot of them and start again. I think there's a massive rebuild to be had there. Liam Richardson needs to bring players in that he trusts, that he not necessarily worked with before, but he's seen and he thinks he can make a player out of them, and just completely change the losing mentality. And the only way to change a losing mentality in a team like ours is to get rid of all the players that have been used to you losing and start again.
Yeah, it's a huge.
But yeah, it was beyond embarrassing. It was really one of them games where we were lucky to get 0, and 7 shots, 1 on target. That was good compared to Saturday at Norwich. That was good.
Yeah.
Because it was even worse at Norwich.
Bloody hell. So not a good midweek for Ian at Coventry. Decent one for the Wednesday lads. Obviously, Jake and Lee not in here or workout. But ATID is in the chat, and if I can find what he said, it says we've got 1 point against Sheff Wednesday, 10-man Blackburn. Do I need to say any more? Yeah, doesn't need to say any more on this family-friendly show. He thinks that Rotherham will end up beating Plymouth. You've got 50p more in the bank than us, and must respect you because of that, according to the PE teacher we have in charge. Yeah, he's not happy with Foster. You know, we were all in dire straits when all of his players have openly said they're not playing for Foster.
Really?
So it's not looking good at Plymouth. But the Wednesday Plymouth game, it was massive for the picture at the bottom of the table, wasn't it? And I think Wednesday.
That's one thing I admire about Danny Roll. He's got them playing for the shirt. He's got them. He probably hasn't got the quality of player that he wants in the Championship, but he's got them fighting and he's got them battling.
Yeah, he's getting a lot out of them, isn't he?
He is, without a doubt. He's doing a similar job to what Neil Warnock did at Rotherham a few years ago. When we got out of trouble. He's just got them believing that that they're better players than they are, and they're getting results. And I admire Danny Roll for that. He's completely changed the ethos there.
Yeah, he has.
And also importantly, he's got a massive fan base on his side now.
Yeah, and that helps, doesn't it? Because then if results aren't quite going your way, I think the fans are a little bit more forgiving in that, a little bit like Grant McCann at Donny. We've been lower than what we've been for a long, long time, but the fans are still backing Grant McCann because we believe that he's the one that will turn it around, and it seems the same at Sheff Wednesday, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cracking result for them. Other midweek results are going across the screen. We'll move on to the weekend results. Can't get my words out today. We'll stay with Sheff Wednesday. I don't think they expected anything from this one. Leeds, a very good team, but we were talking about it before we went live. I think the Bamford goal 5 minutes into added time at the end of the first half changes the complexion of the game, doesn't it? It changes, like you said, Ian, it changes the team talk, it changes the feeling, everything around the game. If it goes in,
I thought Wednesday were half decent in the first half. I think they missed a really good chance on about 20-25 minutes to put them 1 up. But it were a very even first half. And like you said, with Bamford scoring on the stroke at half time, it changes everything. It changes the half time team talk. He just kills. Kills a team when they concede that late. And second half, Leeds' quality showed.
Yeah,
I mean, they are a quality side. They're full of quality players. I mean, I think if I were to choose a Championship player of the season now, with like 20% of the season still to go, it should be Somerville at Leeds. He's an absolute wonderful footballer.
Yeah, different level, isn't he?
He's definitely Premier League quality.
Yeah.
And he's not on his own there in that Leeds team. Dan James, young lad Gray, they're just solid all over the field, and
look strong.
I can't see them getting promoted, to be honest with you. I think they are that good.
I'd agree with you there.
I don't think Danny Rowe will lose any fans losing to a team like that.
No,
because I think they made it competitive, and there's no disgrace at all losing there.
Yeah. Before we go to Norwich, a cracking result for Hull at home to Leicester. It's dinted Leicester's title charge, hasn't it? And that's been dinted a number of times over the last couple of weeks. And it's started to open the door for Leeds and Ipswich and possibly Southampton as well to get in there. Obviously, Ipswich, very disappointed. 1-0 up on the 80th minute, 79th minute. And then two late goals, one in the 90+5, and then last kick of the game, 90+10, gets Cardiff all 3 points, and it was absolute bedlam, carnage when that second one went in. But looking at the stats, probably deserved. I don't know if the majority of these shots came in those final 10 minutes, and it was just like the Alamo after Ipswich going 1-0 up. But yeah, it's a disappointing result, especially with all the other results kind of going against them in and around them. So, disappointing for Ipswich.
I mean, to be quite honest, after coming up from League One last season, Ipswich, whether they end up in the playoffs or automatically, what a season they've had. What a season. And they're extremely good side to watch as well.
Yeah. ATID saying the irony is it was Ipswich who made sure there was that much added time. They couldn't stay on the feet for love and the money. So, you reap what you sow. And you conceded 2 in that added time that you were time wasting. Another 5-0 drumming, mate. So it's been a difficult old week, hasn't it?
Expected. See what I said about that 7 shots and 1 on target were good at Coventry.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, you were coming back from getting some food. You said, "Oh, by the way, Norwich 2-0 up," and I never flicked an eyelid. You expected.
Yeah, just went,
we're just pathetic. We're just absolutely pathetic. I mean, I've got 5 home games to go to before the end of the season, and I will be at them because I'm a season ticket holder.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be pretty, and I think the atmosphere might turn a little bit toxic before the end of the season. Not so much at Liam Richardson, more at the chairman, because we've got a fan base that are, how can I put this? Well, put it this way, there won't be no mastermind candidates. Except what's happened. We're going down. We know we're going down. We've got a team that don't care. Just tread water, let it happen, and at the end of the season, we can start doing something. But we've got a reactive fan base that just let it happen. Let it happen. It's going to happen anyway.
Is it frustration there that the resources haven't been made available to build a competitive squad, though?
Yeah, but it's always going to be there. Especially, I mean, any team that gets promoted from League One that haven't got a really, and I mean really wealthy backer. Because Tony Stewart's a rich man, don't get me right, but he's not a billionaire. And when you in a situation where you've just come out of the 3rd tier and you're trying to compete with the Leeds Uniteds, the Leicesters, the Southamptons, to an extent 60% of the Championship who can readily go and spend 5 million on a player and not really give it a second thought. Yes. It's just basic economics. We can't compete. We know we can't compete. And any right-minded Rotherham fan would accept that. But you don't get that. You just get the knuckle draggers thinking, why don't he spend big? Because we don't want to be a Reading, and spend money that we haven't got.
But then,
just for one more season in the Championship.
Survival last season would have got you a decent chunk, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, yeah. And survival last season, right, I mean, it was a good achievement, but it was unsustainable. You couldn't do it forever. I mean, I'm quite grateful that we did have 2 seasons in the Championship, but I think we've got to have to take as medicine and rebuild, and it might take a few years for us to come back this time. I can't really see Rotherham United getting promoted automatically again next season like we have done the last 3 times. Yeah, absolutely. And that's been kind.
Yeah. Neil's liking the people that we have on this show. Great bunch, good crowd on here. And that's what we want it to be. We want it to be enjoyable for everybody in the chat and anybody who joins us on screen as well. I'm sure we'll end up doing another one of those phone-in style shows in the coming weeks.
We'll have to do one before end of season.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe an end of season special where people can come on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Have their say about their club for the season. Okay, any more championship games that we want to touch on? I think Huddersfield West Brom would be a good one. Huddersfield 1-0 up. God knows what was said to them at half time. West Brom turn it around and stick 4 past them in.
They're a decent outfit, West Brom. Minutes. They're a decent side. They're more than a decent side, actually. That Johnston, since he's come in, he can't stop scoring goals.
No.
And they're normally crackers. But that's put Huddersfield back in the brown stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they could. Although, I mean, silver lining, they're at our place next Saturday, so they'll be okay.
You never know, Ian. That might be the turning point. You may get some points in that one. Who knows?
I'm not holding my breath, put it that
way. Is there any other championship games that you want to touch on?
One surprise result that I thought was Stoke winning at Preston. And boy, did they need that.
They
did Stoke need that? And it looks like it's a deserved win as well. Because Preston are really strong at Deepdale.
Yeah.
Going for the playoffs, and I don't think they anticipated Stoke putting in such a performance. But yeah, top marks for them. Yeah, that's right, Huddersfield are. Yeah. They needed that Stoke because they've been dropping like a stone. And they actually made it into the bottom 3, didn't they? Did this pull them out of the bottom 3?
I think it did, yeah.
But it's going to be a battle.
Lewis said that he wants to see Bradford and Huddersfield play each other. Can't imagine they've played each other in a while. So Lewis is wanting Bradford to be promoted, Huddersfield to go down, and that'd be a League One clash next season.
It's a bit like us playing Mansfield. We haven't played Mansfield for a lot of years in league. It could happen the next season. You know, we us going down and Mansfield going up.
Yeah. So a quick look at the table before we go on to predictions. And before I do that, actually, John came in with a question. If time permits, any thoughts on the new EFL TV deal? More money for teams, but will it allow more games to be seen for you? Will for me,
well, I would give it a cautious welcome because it looks good. But like a lot of other things that look good, does it actually? I mean, look at if I can go back to the ITV Digital. That deal looked absolutely amazing, and it didn't turn out. But yeah, a cautious welcome. It looks decent, and also, if more money trickles down to the bottom 2 tiers, that can only be a good thing.
Yeah, it can. But I think something needs putting in place where the money's regulated a bit better, because I think if the Premier League or Sky or whoever it is end up giving more money to the lower leagues, there's potential there that the lower league clubs just spend it on players, spend it on wages in the hope that they climb the table. But if everybody's doing that, nobody's gaining. So we'll still end up in the same position with teams like Reading, Bury, Bolton. And
well, that's all on the owners, isn't it? That's all on the owners and how they decide to spend the money. And if they decide to go into debt through it, it's on their own heads, be it really.
Yeah, but I think there should be some sort of regulations in for money that's being passed down to kind of ring fence that for, I don't know, community projects or whatever it is. It shouldn't solely be on players. Maybe a percentage could be put into playing budget. A percentage needs to go on everything else. But
infrastructure.
That's far beyond my brain power in financial football.
They should rethink the fit and proper owners test as well, because you still get some right numpties running football clubs and owning football clubs. Yeah.
ATID says that the new TV deal Each Championship club gets 7.5 mil. Each League One club gets 2.2. Each League Two club gets 800 grand. So it's not particularly evenly split, is it?
No, it doesn't. No.
But 800 grand to a League Two club is a decent chunk of money. But like I say, I think that's got to be, it's got to be used on kind of future infrastructure or anything like that. It can't just be lumped on a player for me.
Yeah. If it's 10 mil, if it's 10 mil they're looking at, what's wrong with 3.5 mil each for each division?
Yeah.
Including League Two. Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, we've just ticked over the hour, so let's have a quick look at the Championship table before we go on to the predictions. We've got Rotherham still on 19 points. We said a few weeks back 23 or 22 is the lowest
Something
points total.
like that. We won't get there.
I hope you do. I hope you surpass that, because nobody wants to get a new record
but
like that.
But if we don't, we've beaten his own record, because we were the holders.
Well, yeah. If you're going to beat anybody's record, beat your own.
Beat yourself, yeah.
Chef Wednesday putting up a real good fight to get out of it, and it's extremely tight. There's only, 3 points split 23rd to 17th. So anybody in there, it'll swap and change every single game. Millwall gone on a decent run since Harris has gone in and started to pull themselves away. Swansea, they're not out of the woods yet, but they'll feel much more comfortable than those below them.
Yeah, it's a really tight division.
Yeah, it's good watching. Sunderland, I'm not sure what's going on at Sunderland, but 5 defeats on the bounce. They've dropped like a stone, and I just don't know. I don't know what's gone wrong at the Stadium of Light. It just seems to have imploded from a decent start to the season. Leicester, like we said earlier, opened the door a little bit with a poor run of form here and a draw at the weekend. Leeds, Ipswich, Southampton, all chasing them down. I think probably Leeds or Ipswich are the more likely to overtake Leicester. I think Southampton probably out of it at the minute. West Brom and Norwich make up the playoffs. But like Ian said, extremely tight division. There will be swaps and changes as we progress over the next 9 or 10 games. Job done. Okay, we move that, get that out of the way, and then we bring up the predictions for this week. Let's get that up there, get us off. Not a bad week all around. There's quite a lot of yellow and green on that table. Barely anybody expected anything from other than a Stevenage win against Fleetwood. So there was a couple of draws that were predicted that got 3 points, but very few changes in the table as well. Neil's still on top with one point advantage over Bailey. Ian, you're chasing them down 10 points behind Neil at the minute. A couple of changes down to the lower mid-table region, but it's settled down a bit, hasn't it? So this week we are going for the 5 following games. So get your predictions in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this later on in the week. Ian, start us off. We've got Ipswich versus Sheffield Wednesday.
Although I've been quite complimentary today about Wednesday, I think a trip to Portman Road is going to be so difficult for them.
Yeah,
I'm going 3-1 Ipswich.
I've gone 2-0 Ipswich, so same kind of scoreline, 2 goals in it, but I've gone 2-0 rather than 3-1. Rotherham Huddersfield.
Huddersfield obviously got a chance of survival. We're a League One club. We're League Two players. Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 2.
I've got more confidence in you, mate. I've gone with 2-1 win. I think you're going to get something.
I hope you're right.
To League One, we've gone with Wigan versus Blackpool.
Wigan, good side. It's a difficult one to call this because Blackpool are a good side. I'm going Desmond's here. I'm going to sit on the fence, 2-2.
We're all 2-2. I've gone with 2-1 to Blackpool, mate. MK Dons versus Crewe.
Well, I weren't impressed with Crewe yesterday. And I weren't particularly impressed with them when I saw them beat Crawley 1-0 in a scrappy game. MK Dons are on fire. 2-0 MK.
I've gone 2-0 MK as well. I've just seen that ATID has gone 2-0 MK, so that's a popular one so far. And the final one, Swindon versus Donny.
Keep Charlie Austin quiet. You've got a chance for a result. Swindon will be on the beach, really. But I still think it'll be a draw. I'm going 1-1.
1-1. I've seen that HID follows the channel quite a lot, and he said that my dad's Desmond will finally come good. Yeah, he's gone with Desmond quite a lot this season. So he's gone 2-2 for the Swindon Donny. I have gone 2-1 to Donny for that one. I'm hoping for a win. We will see. But yeah, let's finish up. So any final words before we round this video off, Ian?
Always enjoyable. Good therapy session after a spanking at the weekend like we always get. But like, it don't hurt anymore. We know where we're going. It's obviously a good opportunity to get things off your chest, and it's nice to meet with friends on a Sunday evening. Thoroughly enjoyed it yet again.
Yeah, good stuff. We will quickly get up some of the predictions that are coming in. We've got Neil's are in, ATIDs are in. He's thanking us, Foster out. And Neil said another top week. So
thank you.
Lewis has said, Brill stream, sorry about your troubles this week, Dan, God bless. Yeah, it is what it is. It's just part of life. John said, thanks, gents, enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And Mark has said, nice watching you guys. But and Adrian, thanks, Dapper and Ian, and everyone else. So join us again, Adrian, if you've enjoyed it. Like Ian says, it's a therapy session. It's a safe space for everybody to have a whinge and just get stuff off your chest and hopefully attack the next week with a bit more of a positive outset. Like I say, I've had a tough week. Me and Vicky have had a bit of a nightmare. And football was a release yesterday for me. It was great sitting next to Ian and chatting and just talking about everything and nothing, spending time with the family. And thankfully, it wasn't ruined by 90 minutes of football. It was quite enjoyable. And then obviously the therapy session on a Sunday. I've been looking forward to this, just to chat through all of the EFL with everybody and kind of getting plenty of action on the chat as well, which is great. So it means a lot that you guys are enjoying this and coming back week on week. And yeah. And even an American bloke like me is welcomed. Everybody is welcome. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. It's great. So we appreciate you spending some of your Sunday evening with us. Even if there was only one of you, I'm sure we'd still do this, won't we, Ian? Just have a chat about our troubles and our clubs.
Yeah, of course we would. But it's nice to get the women figures. Yeah, it's always nice to be listened to. Yeah,
it is indeed. So I think that's a nice way to end this one. Episode 65 done. We will be back next Sunday for episode 66. The Sunday after, it is cancelled because I'm off to watch Pendulum in Leeds. So yeah, there'll be a lot to catch up on the Sunday after. So we are back on the 17th for a live. Hopefully you're back as well. If you've enjoyed this, stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below if you're watching this throughout the week. Subscribe to myself and Over the Bar and all the other lads on the 72 review as well. Links are in the description down below. And all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you in the next one.